Hello Dewey, here is a run through of how to use the camera. To open the camera, the front, lens, press this button here. Opens like that. Okay, I'm gonna close it first now. Okay, to load the film, you open this back here, open this lever, pull it down, flip it open. Roll of film. Unfortunately, I don't have a roll of film with me. So the new roll of film goes here. You pull it across, put the film lead in one of these slots, and then you turn this to wind it. And then you close, and then in this window, you keep winding until you see one. When you see one in this window, you know that it's on the first shot, okay? And you can leave this window open or closed, it doesn't really matter. You can close it to be safe, to make sure no light gets in. Okay, we're gonna open up the front of the camera. Okay, so this is the range finding mechanism. You look through here, okay? And you look at your subject, or you look at whatever you're photographing, whether it's a person or a landscape. There's gonna be, you can't really see it, but you look through it, and then you're gonna see two images overlap each other. And when it overlaps and it's in focus, and when they overlap perfectly on top of each other, that means whatever you're photographing is in focus. So this is how you adjust the rangefinder. So as you're moving this, once you move this knob here, and you see whatever is inside is in focus, when you see the two images overlap on each other, you look here and you see what your distance is. So let's say the distance is 2.5 meters. Like 2.5 meters, 2.5. You take this and you dial it in to here. You match it up to here. Okay? So 2.5 would be right here. If this reads, 4 or 1.3, you dial that in appropriately. Like this is 1.3, whatever this says, you input into this ring. So once you have that, you obviously have to dial in your aperture. Your aperture is here. This controls how big your aperture is. This controls how big your aperture is, right here. So it goes from f3.5 to f32. This controls how much light goes into your camera. And obviously this is a calculation that you'll have to do on your own, depending on what film ISO you have. Okay, so once that's done, so to cock the shutter, you turn this until you hear a click. Right now the shutter is already cocked. So, and then here you cock. Okay, this this is where it gets kind of complicated. You turn this until this clicks, and this gets this button ready. And then you cock the shutter here, right? And then also you have to dial in your shutter speed. So your shutter speed goes from 1 second all the way to 1/300th of a second. So let's just use 1/125th of a second. So that's your shutter speed, and you take the picture. Boom, you took a photo. Now you turn this to cock the firing pin, the firing button. So that cocks this, that sets this, and then you turn this until you see the number 2. Once you see the number 2, that means it's on the second film, second slide of film. Once you turn that, you stop there, and now you recock the shutter. And then now you can take the next photo. And then you can change the shutter speed. I don't know, you can change it to 1/300th of a second. There, now you took a photo. And now you turn this, you hear that click. Now this is ready to fire. And then you recock the shutter, and then you can take another photo. Now let's say you want to turn it to half a second. And that just took a photo. And again, now this, you'll see this go turn to 4. And this is to show you. This will show you the aperture and shutter blades working. See, that just took the photo. All right, so that's basically it. And once you're done with the roll, the entire roll of new film will be on this spool. And then you take this and you go get it developed. And then to close the camera, you press this hinge, and then you just close it. And that's how you shoot with the Ikonta M. Very cool camera. I loved using it. Overall, very good condition. Not much can go wrong with this camera.